All right, what up, ladies and gentlemen? Today I'm going to attempt to refactor, now that it's the morning I have energy, the Restify OAuth developed by Dominic and crew. It's using a bit of an old set of JavaScript as well as underscore and coffee scripts for unit tests. So I'm going to bring it up to date so I can unit test it myself, make it work with Restify 5 and 6, which are very different from 4 and below. So that's what I'm doing today. Not much talking, just coding. I should point out this is going to take a bunch of passes, mainly because I don't have a set of unit tests I can run, and I need to further understand some of the pieces of the code before I can completely refactor it. So we're not using this, we're not using scope, so we're getting rid of all the functions here. We're just turning them back to arrow functions. And things like this drive me bonkers. I think he did this because, oh, he's been a function to function. Ugh. So yeah, things like this, where we have functions within functions specifically for scope. But if you look, and I do an Apple Shift S, there's literally like little to no examples of actually this keyword at all in this code base, which is wonderful. So things like this are no longer needed. You can just use arrow functions. But one thing at a time, we'll come back to this guy. And these are actually errors. Where is it? I know it's here somewhere. Where did I put that? Make error sender. It's weird. It's probably a master. That's all right. There we go. Okay, start from the top here. And it should be on the air. So far, so good. He had request. Okay. Actually put that directly, didn't he? Okay, just cleaning up some stuff. Eventually we'll get to unit test once I feel like I've gotten the basics of just the functions themselves and the actual variables change to var or from const to lest. So once we get those, then we'll start hitting these guys and figure out if he's using mocks or not. Also, another thing is a lot of the Lodash stuff I'm changing to the FP version, but things like this, it's okay. Defaults is fine. It's more of things like get and has. A lot of the functions that are manipulating objects, properties. And then your next question is, why are you not using Ramda? Stop using Lodash. I hear you. Someday, but not today. Actually, that reminds me. Did I return that up there too? I did, didn't I? Let's fix that, man. There we go. Much better. Now I can extract those things later. Where was I? Yeah, can't allow errors to propagate. Got to get rid of those guys. And this is so much easier to do sober. Unbelievably easier. Okay. Da-da-da. You too can grant a token to be bequeathed token. Do you mutate these values, homie? I hope not. No, you do not. Okay, cool. Nothing to see here, officer. No mutation by you guys. Negative, you're just pass-throughs. Negative, you're just pass-throughs. I really should be doing laundry right now, but instead I'm coding. Okay. Looking smoking, brah. We're almost there. Dominic, guys, pretty good coder. I said his name right. All right. Let's keep track of that. That wasn't a sentence. Let's try that again. Much better. All right, let's run our unit test and start putting some behavior around this existing system here. So he has tests for common. I think these are the ones that I was writing. Let's skip these for now. We'll copy pasta coding for the win here. We'll call it, what was he doing? CC unit? We'll do CC unit. Alrighty, time to whip out the side-by-side. Plodow. JavaScript on the left, CoffeeScript on the right. Let's get rid of that silly thing. I like it sometimes, but not today. All right, what do we got here? Shinon. That always hurts my heart. It implies 50,000 mocks. Am I the only one who saw that as one symbol instead of two distinct characters? It looks like, ooh, it's a party object, right? It's like doing the bee things, the roll things that you spit out of your mouth or whatever. You know what I'm talking about. They're birthday parties. Kids love them. Like kazoos or something. All right, this is gonna be a bit of work here. He's doing called with to verify these functions are called. This is not going to be as simple as I thought it would be. Oh, I had such high hopes. Gross. Okay, so I like Dominic's JavaScript. I do not like Dominic's coffee or whoever else helped him write these CoffeeScript unit tests. Dear God. Well, this is hopeless. So let's let's focus on the ones that actually work here. Let's start in common. I know I had some common here, which is around granting token. That's fine. So I'm granting token, finish granting token. All right, who is passing in these magic options? That's what I need to find out. Because if I can get rid of this guy that's getting all this magical scope attached to it, like it's basically the decorator pattern, where you pass in an object and you add things to it. And it's assumed in a dynamic language that you're following some kind of predefined interface that others are willing to know that those functions are there, else they have default implementations. Completely fine, but in our case, we need to know what's going on here. So let's find out. Let's definitely find out where these option hooks are coming from. So instead of grant token, it's calling him with the options that were thrown up a grant token. Fascinating. So the main duty uses is passes the options from the server post. Okay. So these are the options that configure. Oh my goodness. Okay. So this is dynamic as heck. Oy vey. All right. Well, if we go into grant token, which is the grant types that he called, so that's going to be a string. And here it's going to be password. So based on the grant type. Okay. Based on the grant types. Okay, so this particular function it's always interesting to see how another programmer codes things as it's a window into the realm of how they think, how they approach problems, how they want to be forced to maintain what they created months, weeks, years down the line. And I'm struggling to follow this options magical object, which implies that he knew what this object was always going to be. So here's what we're going to do. We're not going to modify anything that takes options. We're going to leave that as is, and we're going to refactor the rest of this to be pure functions. So let's start with common here. Now, we did this last time and failed miserably. I think it was last week because there was so much expected scope here. So I'm not going to do that one. I'm going to pick something that's a little simpler here. Now, this is not going to work because this particular one has a closure of inner function. So let's see who is actually using this. All right, so based on those grant types that you give it, it pre-populates all the closures with all the information they need when they run, which means that when you call error senders, holy cow. All right, let's keep that open real quick. Well, this is how he gets rid of global variables. He basically shoves everything in a closure. Okay. This is clearly worthy of my talents. It's quite difficult to reason about. Thus, I know this is exactly where I belong. So when you pass in the error senders, this closure internally of authenticated resource can utilize this to call those methods. Okay, so error senders is actually the interface. So it's not really necessarily just a function, it's an object, but he's using the function to retain the closure scope. Okay. Gotcha. I see what you're doing here, Dominic. All right, so let's do a test. Let's do a test real quick. Assuming that we have a function called cow, and within that function, we define another function called moo. And when we call cow, to value, but if we call cow, okay, so it actually has it internally. And how does he return those? Fascinating. He's actually returning. He defines the functions, then defines even more functions in the return value. Joder for jodes. Okay. So I'm not going to mess with these until I find out who's calling link header. Ah. All right. So I think the only ones using these helper private functions are internal. If I'm correct, this will make it significantly easier because I won't have to affect the outside API call. Fantastic. All righty. We can extract with extreme prejudice. Take that, you ES3 wannabe. Try this again. Speaking of things unrelated to programming, am I the only one excited to see Black Panther? A couple weeks. I don't need to buy my tickets. Richmond isn't necessarily known for its sold out theaters necessarily. However, I think for Black Panther, our city can make an exception. How many more do I got to go? Send with headers. Yep, just us. Ooh, interesting. Send with headers. So he's actually using send with headers, is he? Yeah, but he just made a match. That's why. All right, we're good. We're good, homie. We're good, homie. So once we extract these guys, we can test them individually without having to go down the miserable private interface route. So once we're done with this, we can write some unit tests around it. Start cranking up our code coverage here. So we can feel mo better about this stuff to help us make cheddar. Is it still sweater weather? And on my pizza, I put feta. All right. All right. All right. So they still have private functions, so to speak, but these guys can access those up top. So let's create a list here, shall we? Before we start going, let's see. You pass in a res, it adds a header to it, which is a Restify way of adding headers. Same with authenticate, based on the options you pass in. Now, the bad thing about all of these is there's no data validation, but that's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. And a lot of these can be converted to template strings. So let's get some unit tests around these, and then we'll start doing the string stuff. Okay, so this is the main dude. Let me see if I can identify what this was here. My understanding was the only dude to import it was this guy, and he was strictly doing it that way. So we can actually change the function signature. So let's remember that. February 3rd. Time flies when you're having cow. Come back to that guy. All right, here we go. Module exports. Once we export these functions, we can battle test them with unit tests. Status code to error. Set link header. Come on down to the Price is Right. Set dub. Set dub. Auth. Send with headers. Send authentication. I thought I already did that. Oh, it was auth, right. And last but not least, this main dude, and we'll cut past the coding for the FTW up in this mug. All right, so let's close these two guys since they're confusing as heck. This guy I'm starting to figure out. And where his package path? It's lib common. So let's go here. Do we have a make error? No, we do not. So say make error senders will match the file name, but add a .test to the file suffix. And copy pasta from this mofo. And since we're going to be here a while, do I have a URL for this? Perhaps. Perhaps I do. You please get out of my face, you weird window. Once again, attempting to refactor Restify OAuth2. This time with coffee instead of burr. Plutao. All right. Back to our regularly scheduled unit test. Got blah, 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 blah. All right, we don't need you anymore. We need the make error senders. And it's not a function. It's a bunch of functions, a bunch of fun functions. Functions have the word fun in them. Hence, programming is so fun. All righty. Let's split view for the FCW up in this mug. And get rid of that. All right, let's test on the left, refer on the right. All right, and this guy is called make error sends. Plural. There's a bunch of sends and a bunch of errors, and we're making them. Finish the granting token. All right, the first one we're going to test is the easiest, which is set link header. Set link header, when called, is straight banging as a function. We all like it. It should set a header based on the inputs. So if we call this guy with a res and options, the return value is absolutely nothing, which is pathetic. Pure functions are not no ops, ladies and gentlemen. So let's find a way to make this a pure function. Let's go find out how it's used. It is used in such a way to set the header based on the option, and that's it. There is no return value from it. Okay, so there are a couple things that could go wrong with this. Number one, this is not a Restify 5 or 6. It could be express, which is set, not header, but I think they updated that. Second is this could not be a res. It could be something else. Third, these options might be missing these values. And lastly, the data types could be incorrect. So there's a lot of things that could go wrong. So let's assume by default, the data validation could possibly fail for set link header. So we're going to assume it's either a result of true or result of false for this guy. For now, we're going to do a stub and make sure it works before we go cray-cray. So we'll do a res stub. It has a header method, which takes a name and a value. And we don't really care what it does with that stuff. All right. Expect true to be true. Should it equal true? All right, what do we have in our package? Did we modify all this stuff? I think we did. Test, is that good? Okay, here we go. npm test. Blood out, everything's exploding. Can't find your mom. That's very rude. All right, how about we comment it out? Try running commented code there, JavaScript. Oh, okay, where is this? Who is mad at the world? This guy's mad at the world. Who are you? Oh, you're the stupid test. You're stupid. Go away. Make error sins. Okay, we're getting closer. So it doesn't like libcommon. Let's try this again. One goes to test. One more goes up here. Then we go to libcommon. Make error sins. It's cinders. Like the British TV show, The EastEnders. Okay. So we're not going to skip it. Good. Res is not defined because it's a stub that we defined up there and it's a different name. That's why, you goofball. Options is not defined because we haven't stubbed it. So let's just go plutow. Now it's going to fail because we can't find the properties. So we're going to stub that as well. Got options, stub. Sup, bro? I'm a Grant, but not Hugh Grant. That guy's had some challenges. Grant types is too defined. What are you talking about? What you talking about, Willis? Oh, snap. It's a magic closure variable. We don't accept that. We're going to force people to pass that in. And have closures. No magic. Alrighty. Option stub. Now we got grant types, which is some magical object. Righty. So we've improved the setlink headers call signature. However, the grant types must be implied, which implies that his usage down here also needs grant types. Same with this guy. And this is why refactoring is so hard, because you change one thing, you break 50,000 others. And you have no unit test to save you. That's okay. We're going to create unit tests to save ourselves. Very similar to filter. Speaking of filter, let's stop with this meditation music here. Get something a little more hard. Hey, man, nice refactor. I wish I would have refactored you. I wish I would have unit tested you, but now it's a little late. What you could have saved my test coverage. Could have made me money, put food on my plate. Man, I forgot how emo this song was. All right. This guy's good. We got grant types, and those who call it have grant types. However, the sin with headers does not have grant types. That's okay. We'll fix that in a minute. He does, however, so that's fun. We could actually make that a partial and get rid of that problem. All right, that's sin headers. Let's take a look at sin authentication required. Nice shot, man. All right, back in black. All right. Let's blast this guy. Come back to that other guy. Now that the smoke's gone and the chickens are all clear. All right, we can stub in line here. They have a new kind of fear. The options, some kind of error. It has a message. All right, these unit tests are starting to become awful because this code is untestable without using mocks and stubs, spies, and whatnot. That's okay though. We're making progress. Keep going. Once we have a really good test suite, we can start blasting these guys. Copy pasta coding for the win, win, win. Res and options. However, he is not using grant types. So he only has 2 params. Three passing. All right, make sure there's nobody yelling at me. Nope, nobody's yelling at me. We're good. All right, this guy's going to take 50 billion stubs. Hey, what are we doing? We got to copy pasta. That's how you code in the modern day and age. All right, so res next. Should be a spy, but we ain't going to play that game. Options. Some kind of error. Grant types. All right, how we doing? Oh, we're doing well. Insanely well. So well, we're super well. All right. Nobody needs anything. So, based on the headers, the headers. Oh God, this song was way too happy. Nope, we're good. We're good, filter. No, we don't need to take a picture. There we go. Where do we go from here? Is that an appropriate refactoring song? Because you never know where the heck to go in code you didn't write. Even if you did, you don't remember. All right, we got a header. We got the next. We got the options, the error, the grant types. All right, cool. Bet you this one worked too. We should have 5 passing now. Nope, we do not. Why is that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, because I didn't save a file because I'm a moron. There we go. All right, let's hit 2 more and then we're good. I believe they have the same function header. Is that correct? All right, good. All right, now we're up to 7, right? All right, cool. Very cool. All right, let's do some string fixes. Oh, that's actually words. All right, let's do this. Let's refer so we don't break anything. Copy pasta. All right. Now we can hit enter and not feel bad about ourselves. Grant types. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. You don't need to escape anything. Resistance is futile. You're in the Borg string, bro. All right. Much better. All right, token endpoint, we're good. Rel auth, hard-coded relative value, grant types. The actual grant types variable interjected with quotes, so there's no need to escape them. And last but not least, token types, which is the bearer, which could be a string. It's missing the end quote, but now it's not, and we're amazing. Deleted. We run tests, and we're good. Keep going. Hey, hey, hey. I need that. A great question, Filter. Where do we go from here? Clearly, the next song is not. Oh wait, yeah, it's the what was that movie? That amazing demon dude. Oh god, I can't remember anymore. Spawn, yeah, that was it. Good flick, man. Didn't age well, but still a good flick. Had a black protagonist. Amazing. Good stuff. All right. You know what's interesting is that each of these actually have commas. Okay. I can handle that. I do. Test like I do. Oh my god, it passes. All right, we got a bearer realm with an ejected string value with a comma. Comma. We do not have a comma on the bearer realm. We need to add it. Yes, we do. Okay. Editor, same thing with the injected value, description, injected value. Cool. We're too legit to quit. Does he have the last quote? Yes, he does. Test like I do. Oh my god, it passes. Test like I do. Set the auth. The only real, I mean, this thing is ridiculous. You don't even need this, but okay. While we're here, we could have fun. You. Looking good, brother. Looking good, brother. Wow, I haven't seen anybody use N in forever. Okay. All right. Let's add some validation, shall we? Before we do, let's take a look at how the link header is being used here. That's a great question. Let's find out who's doing send header, because that guy was not expecting a third parameter. And the reason I say that is that in here, we had to add the grant types, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4. Does he have access to grant types? No, he does not. Which implies that it was stashed in the header, so you'd have to remember it, which is not cool at all. So you have floating data around. All right, the only fix I know for now is to use a partial. Which is that. All right, so let's go find it. Where's send with headers? Where are you, bro? All right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, gonna make this a function partial so he can retain his grant types and not get all angry. Since yesterday was Groundhog Day, we don't want to drive angry. One of the lessons from that movie. All right, so actually we need a partial right. I don't think curry's gonna work. Crap! All right, plan B. We'll just go raw partial. Don't tell anybody. I hear like a weird drum. This is not 9 Inch Nails. Okay, I'm not that angry yet. Stabbing weapons. Save yourself. Yeah. When you're on a horrible code base, you gotta leave the job, leave the contract, save yourself. This code is so messed up. We can't possibly fix it. So you have to save yourself. Let's try partial right. I know your code coverage is empty and you have to face this world with zero coverage. Some of the headers is partial and types. All right, that solves that problem. So this guy right there, he'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, and the fifth one of grant types will already have the grant types prepackaged. That's cool. This guy is the unit test. Okay. This guy does not pass it in, and that's okay. This guy does. All right. This guy needs to pass it in. Let's fix that. Okay. Public interface is still intact. All right. I'm kind of concerned about adding validation because I don't think I can. Oh boy. All right. Well, we can convert these guys over. I think the only closure they are possibly using, are they all pure functions? They look like it. All right, let's keep going. I think I'd rather eat alone. I don't know. I'm making up words. Goodness gracious. All right, let's try this again. YouTube is smoking cheese right about now. Where is... All right, last filter song. These are from the Arabs up top, right? So I think the only thing that's bad is that this particular one is paste and green cards. That's okay. It's pure. That's good. We're good. All right, token required has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think we're good. So we should have 8 tests now. Doing good. Do you need grant types? Yes, you do. Whoops. Try that again. Same function signature. Plot to the Dow. Plot to the Dow Industrial. But we ain't average. You know what I'm saying? Insufficient authorization. Yeah, it sounds like me, all right. Insufficient authorization. Yeah, I want to code for this job. Well, we just don't think you're a culture fit. So what you're saying is I intimidate you. Is that what you're saying? Understood. Maybe it's I talk too much. Is that it? Maybe it's I have energy. Maybe it's I'm an extrovert. What does culture fit really mean? No one knows. It's kind of like we should be friends of relationships, right? So it's like if you want to break up with somebody, you say, I think we should just be friends, right? You're pretending you're acting on a positive note, but really it's like an awful thing. Well, you're a very talented coder. We'd love to have you, but you're just not a culture fit. Like that's the exact same thing. Sorry, I know it should be unit testing. My bad. Red types. Oh man, no more filter. Now what do we do? Panic. Not even doom music, baby. Not even doom music. That's what we'll do. Or how about X gonna give it to you? X gonna test it for you. X gonna test it for you. Yeah, unit test. Open this mug. Gesture Excel gonna test for you. X gonna test for you. Excel gonna test for you. Uh. So like, why would you break bread with the enemy? Like, what does that mean exactly? Like, you and I are eating bread. We're peace. Like, should I break bread with Java developers? Is that what DMX is really saying? Like, look, you write Java, I write JavaScript. We've traditionally been at arms at each other's throats. TypeScript helped bridge the gap. Angular, the monstrosity that became Angular 2.25, that helped bridge the gap. All right, so we got grant types, got a partial. Did I export any of these? I don't think I did. Copy pasta, codeine up in this mug. Okay. All right, so let's count. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Actually, we can do this in code. Let's do that. Not you. You. Make errors. All right, so he had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's what I'm saying. Cool. Now we got pure functions all the way down the line, nice and small and simple, except they're not pure because they simply call a bunch of no ops. They don't have any return values. So let's go find some usage, shall we? Go and give it to you. Why, thank you, X. Go and give it to you. All right, now it's time for the Doom music. That'll fix everything. All right, who's using this mofo? I must know. Nope. Yep. All right, so you're returning the value that this gives, but this literally returns a nothing, which is a joke. He's literally using return for control flow. Okay. I see what you did there. I need to think. So you're boarding based on this, but you don't care about the return value, which is fascinating because it implies he doesn't care either. Okay. That's so the only dude who uses it doesn't care about the return value. Talk to me, Goose. Same with you. You're the only dude who cares. Okay. Let's keep going. Keep going. One down, dozen to go. This guy looks easy. Let's handle him. Make handle. Authentic. Integrated resource test. Wait, resource? Resource. I don't know. Everybody likes copy pasta coding. All right, let's switch it up. Make handle. Authenticated resource on the left. Unit test on the left. There we go. Much better. Make handle authenticated resource. All right, talk to me. What do you got? What do you got? You got a Hasbear token? It appears to be some kind of bonkers predicate. All right, let's go fix this import real quick. Oh, look, fancy meeting you here, Mr. Do Code Comments. Alrighty. No longer a function, it's a bunch of functions. And all right, so we're breaking the public interface, but that's okay. A lot of people say you shouldn't test your publics to call publics. I completely agree. However, we're doing a massive refactoring effort here of good code. want to make sure I get this right. So I'm going to test every little teensy piece. You know what I'm saying? Do you feel me, dog? Are you picking up what I am writing down in Visual Studio Code? Has bearer token. All right, we can have fun with this guy. It should work with good stubs. Because this guy we can do some hardcore validation on, which is good. We can have fun with this one. Makes me happy, Jedi. All right. What does the stub rec look like, Jesse? You need to tell me. It's not a strub. I don't want no shrubs. That's not a word for me. Stub rec. It has something called an authorization. This authorization has something called a scheme. Equals a bearer. And then holy fish. And credentials. Credentials, which appears to be an array. Which its length must be greater. Some cred, bro. How about that? Mad cred. Mad street cred. There we go. Mad street cred. Even better. I expect this result to equal true. Run the unit test. Plow. Okay, here's the thing. This thing is really bad. Because you could pass in a rec and it would go boom. Let me show you. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Should blow up. Go ahead and make that happen. You ready? Oh, look, it crashed. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not create code that throws errors because we are awesome. So let's fix that, shall we? Negate. Turn a negative into a positive or a positive into a negative is nil is a positive, or turn into a negative, which is being actually a positive because we're caring about exists. So if rec exists and it has up in this mug, shall we? Has and get another one length. Okay, this is getting ridiculous. I'm fine with short circuits. We can do short circuits. Not a big deal. Let's do it. It's not has, it's get. Da, 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 da. This is actually get or. Here, let's just prevent it from ever happening. How about that? Remember that failing unit test? Now we have false one because we gave it undefined. But it's no longer exploding with an error because we just say, well, it equals false, right? And it returns the result. It's a predicate. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how it's done. All right, so the same thing with bearer token. Yeah, I'm fine with this one. Actually, we need one more test on that guy, don't we? Yeah, hold on. The credentials is empty. It's false. So let's go ahead and copy the same stub, but modify it slightly. And empty out creds. 14 passing. Oh, what's up? With a good stub, brah. Strub. We don't want no strubs. Can I borrow you real quick? I don't know if you even work. Oh, doesn't get a bearer token. It actually gets the credentials. I wonder if that's like a string. Let's go find out. Hmm. So null would trigger this. Otherwise, it would give it a string. Aha! So it's a string, not an array. All right, let's change our unit test to be a mad street cred token. Otherwise, it is not here. So all of them should pass, except for the one we are working on. So let's keep going. Should be true with a good stub. So the stub rec of this one is still legit, right? Except for expect result to be to equal true. Oh God, we're not using all caps today, people. There we go. Right. So it actually gives you the credentials back, which is actually the token, which is actually a string. Okay. So let's, based on our token, it should equal that. Should be null. No creds. So if you take the creds out of it, but it has the general shape of a token, this one should fail. It should equal null because it has nothing. Oh. Okay, we've tested the heck out of these two guys. Let's keep going. Yeah, and he's doing it for the thing. So let's extract this. Wait a minute. What are you doing, dude? I want this guy here. There we go. Okay. And the only thing that's not pure in here is this. Ba-da-ba-da. All right. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is a temporary solution, so we'll import partial right again. Okay, so we can fulfill the same public API without making people angry. Okay, that's good. So this guy needs to be exported so I can unit test them. Da, 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 da. All right, what is up with this tabbing? Is it time to whip out the Prettify? I don't know what's going on. All right, how does this thing? How does this work? What am I doing? How do I code? Wow! Oh my god, I'm getting low in coffee. Yep. All right, now we're back. Destroy all coffee. Destroy. And let's get some better tunes up in this mug, shall we? I'm thinking it's time for. Heck, I don't even know. Let's go to SoundCloud. Gotta be something here. Breaks, why not? Hosted by a really nice Rusky. Good stuff. All right, so for authenticated token, that does not to be that. What is rect up? What in the heck is rect up pause? I have never seen this before. Pause? There's no rect up pause. What are you doing? Oh, that's a pre. Okay. Where's the plugin for that? There we go. Oh yes, clear as mud. Okay, I have no idea what this is. I'll just leave it there, I guess. All right, so we get the token. If it's legit, if it's not legit, return. What in the heck? That is some imperative level insanity right there. What is going on? All right, he needs the air sender. Okay. Actually, this is not even right. It actually is these functions. So token headers required. All right, so it's actually. Let me get rid of this for a second. Not you. There we go. Partial is not for error senders. It's actually token required. Send with headers and token invalid. All right, so we can get rid of all that. This would be much better with matching based on the response, but that's okay. God, this is a lot of no ops. Um, Here, let's do that now. We'll just start it. We won't finish it though. It'll be hard to do, but we'll figure it out. Um, all right, so if you've never used ADTs before, what this does is it gives us types. So think about the function can return multiple things. It can say a token is required. It can return the fact that you need to send it with headers or that the token you have is invalid, right? Or it's just a pass through. It's one of the two. So we're going to do all four of those. And for now, we're not going to have any values. We're going to say um, token required. So we're going to do 5 of these guys. Is it 5 or 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 4. Send with headers. Token invalid. What does send with headers do? So we'll just say token authentication error. There we go. Invalid. Next. Handled? I don't know. Let's do that. All right, there we go. Make this easier to use. Handled. Whoa, hello. There we go. I don't need this big mofo. All right, so we've identified that these absolutely return nothing, which is sad, but we'll work on that. Return token, return authentication error. And then token invalid. And last is handled. Actually, that's not even that. So it's actually the return value of this. Wow, that's pretty bad. All right, so this actually returns nothing. Who uses this guy? Find out. Probably just uses a callback or the connect next way of doing things. Yeah, it actually does not care about the return value at all. This is so pathetic. All right, let's keep going. What we're going to do to fix this is have a return a promise. Promises in JavaScript are like violence. If they're not working, you're just not using enough of them. All right. And unfortunately, we don't even need to handle it. We can just do a no op. Right? So that'll call that, that'll call that, that'll call that, and that'll call next. Okay. So we can actually we can test this godforsaken function. Ah. All right, so this will actually give us a promise. So for now, it's used done, so we can debug what the heck's going on. Whoops. We need to debug, brah. All right, let's figure out what this guy's doing. Let's do an only on this guy real quick. All right, so token required is not a function, probably because the oh yeah, it's from the air handler, isn't it? All right, here we go. Token required. Really? All right, let's whip out the imperative real quick. Must debug, must find out who you are. Who are you? Oh, whoops. I'm not getting them stubs. I'm a moron. All right, so everything I did was fine except for the dots. Those are fine. All right, so let's give this guy some stubs. He needs a stub request. He needs a stub res. He needs a stub next. He needs a token required. All right, let's just stub true. Stub true. Stub true, stub true, stub true. All right, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Try that again. Right, the promise never resolves because here interesting. It doesn't even resolve that because it doesn't return that function. All right, let's return the authenticate token, which I'm pretty sure does absolutely nothing. For now, we'll put a no op on the bottom. Uh, Actually, it's ridiculous. Why don't we just do a success and call that? There we go. 2 birds, 1 stone. Oh, because it's not going to call the callback. How do we get this guy to resolve? Okay, let's do rec 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. We want the options to have hooks, and of those hooks, we want an authenticate token method. Which is another stub true. And of that authenticating token, it takes a callback. So it's token rec and then some kind of callback. And we're going to call that callback immediately. Okay. Whoops. You don't need to do that. You can do that. And before we do this, let's log out our options here. All right, so we got our function with our authenticate. So our mock and our stub is good. Our options has the hooks that has the authenticate token function that we call. But it doesn't seem to be calling the callback. That's fascinating. It's probably because up here it pukes. Let's find out. Let's log everything because I'm too tired to understand because this coffee's not working. La da da da. Ready? Tell me a story. Tell me a story, code. Token is null. If not token, token is in fact required, and then it returns a token required. Okay, well. Hey, 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 hey. There you go. That's good, that's good, that's good. Much better. All right, so the result, we need to take a look at this result here. For now, let's make these a little bit more usable. So we're gonna put your name in there. Put your name. There we go. All right, let's match against it. All right, so defaults should have a token required with default stubs. So we will say result that match with. Go ahead and export out our type here. And then we'll steal the destructuring down below. And then we'll copy paste the structure. All right, definitely an R word. Definitely an R word. Get rid of all of this. All right, let me turn off split for a minute here. Well, let's move it right. I just need some room. Now that we can identify types, we can identify what state are we returning. Did it work? Does the token work? Is the token good? Is it valid? Because there's multiple return values from this function. And so we can unit test each one based on the plethora of inputs that we give it. So token required is what we want. Stub true. We have stub false. I don't know if I imported that. Nope. Stub false. Stub false. Okay. Expect result to equal true. It's only going to return true if it's a token required that was returned from the default stubs, which is always true. Fantastic. Okay. So this is pretty beastly set of unit tests here for these stubs. We're going to have to find a way to reuse some of this stuff because this is ridiculous. All right. Let's do the second one. Which is if we pass in a bunch of stuff, we want to get a authentication to run, and we want to verify that we've got the token authentication header. Okay, so we have a bearer token, but it's bogus, and so it's got to be re-authenticated. Okay, so we'll say should re-authenticate a token if it is bogus. That means that the rec for token required need to have that in there. And I think we unit tested this guy. And another one, was it this guy that had the token with the credentials and whatnot? No. This guy? No. One of these guys had a token. This guy. There we go. All right, so this one has the bearer and the credentials are good. So we'll pass in this as the stub request and rather than an empty object. I think this one will fail. Let's see what happens. The first one will pass, the second one will fail. Yeah, rec.pause is not a function. All right, so we'll add some no op for now. Okay, resume. Also a no op. Cool. What do we get back? We got something back. Who are you? You are a token invalid. It doesn't like my token. It says it's invalid. So it actually made it past here because the auth didn't do an error. Let's force our stub to do an error for the callback. New error. Boom. Actually, to be fair, it's intentionally bad token. Yeah, there we go. All right, so when we run this with a forced error, it gives us a token authentication error, which is exactly what we wanted. So false, sub true. And voila. Man, we are banging on all cylinders. This is awesome. All right, next up, we got to get a token invalid. So we'll clean this up in a minute. Just one more. Should give an invalid token if the token with a bad an invalid stub. So our authentication is like, yeah, it's good, dude. But when it goes to yep, authentication token says you are not invalid. So say this should say failing because we want this one. All right. Last one is everybody's happy. So let's make everyone happy. If token is good, we are good. True. Stub true. Right. All right, we got to clean this up in a minute here. Just make sure all other unit tests pass. All right, up to 20 unit tests, doing good. This guy's good. Yeah, this one's a lot easier to unit test now that I know what's going on. All right, check it in. All right. Much better. All right, what's next on this guy? We verified that we can go through the whole thing and these functions are good because we've done the error handling functions. All right, so we'll come back to these guys. Who's next? We did make error centers, handle authentication, make OAuth. How did you do on the unit test for that guy? Not good, huh? Why is that? Why did I skip those? Yeah, those are good. So let's keep those. What was the other one? Yeah, this guy. Is this guy still good? I think this guy was the one I was struggling with. Take a look here. Oh yeah, this is the beast. Yeah, we're gonna tackle this guy last. That one was really hard. Big setup was actually the whole thing, so we'll come back to this guy. Yep, validate is our next guy. All right, validate grant token request test.js, copy pasta for the win. Validate grant token request. Oh my gosh. What does it export? I don't know. Function. Okay. Reasonable. All right. What does this guy do exactly? How can we fix it? Sends a bad request error. All right. Validate grant token request. Takes a grant type, request, and next. And says, look, if we have this, send this back. This is because the type and description bad request make error. Huh. We could actually just define this one out here. Next. All right. Since we removed the closure, we have to manually install those dang variables. That's okay. For now, I have no idea what it returns, which is kind of sad. But we'll clean it up like that. All right. So, object. Let's get in object. Negate is object. Is not an object. Is not object. All right. The problem with this is if rec is null. So is nil. Rec. Or if is nil. Rec.body. All right. How many parentheses do we need, guys? This isn't Lisp, for the love of God. Okay. So return false, return false, return false, return true. So this is actually a predicate on validating if the request works, which is good. I'm totally cool with that. If it doesn't have a grant type, abort. All right, this is gonna be a lot easier to unit test. We can actually use a lot of folktail validators in this guy. Gotta take a break. Thanks for joining me today, ladies and gentlemen. I'm gonna continue to refactor some of this on my own after I get some coffee and lunch. So hope you enjoyed. Hope you learned something. If you got any other suggestions for these live broadcasts, let me know. It's really just me having fun coding. Later.